Did you know that more people have access to a mobile phone than a toilet? Hi everyone, I am Mark along with my teammates Eunice, Shuet Enn, Wern Xuan and Sean. Today we will be talking about something related to our mobile phone called e-wallet. E-wallet can be simply defined as electronic wallet that's used for money transactions through smartphones. There are numerous e-wallet options available in Malaysia, and in fact, the e-wallet users are increasing, especially during this pandemic. And here comes to an issue. Is e-wallet safe enough in terms of security and privacy? We have a research here to find out the Malaysian e-wallet's consumer behavior and its security and privacy issue. In this research, we have gathered 153 respondents to answer a questionnaire through Google Form. To explain a bit about the demographic, 60.1% are female, 39.9% are male. In terms of age group, the majority is between 18 to 24 years old, which stands 83.7% of the respondents. Besides, there are 110 respondents are students, which stand 72.6%. We have also respondents who are employees, employers, part-timers, freelancers, and also housewives. For a personal monthly income, most of the respondents are less than 1,000 ringgit Malaysia, which stands 68.6% because quite a number of our respondents are students. 17% of the respondents are having income between 1,000 ringgit to 2,999 ringgit. 12.4% of them having 3,000 to 5,999 income. And 2% is between 6,000 to 8,999. For usage and behavior section, we have found out that top 5 commonly used e-wallets are Touch and Go e-wallet, Shopee Pay, GrabPay, Boost, and PayPal. The most interesting is that out of 153 respondents, there are 141 respondents use Touch and Go e-wallets, which stands 92.92%. In fact, Touch and Go e-wallet is the first e-wallet provider to obtain approval to operate as a recognized market operator by the Securities Commission of Malaysia. Also to mention that there are a lot of merchants that accept Touch and Go e-wallets, which makes people constantly stay with it. Furthermore, Touch and Go e-wallets is always the option to choose for receiving the government subsidies, such as the e-Belia program recently. Other than that, there are 68% of the respondents use Shopee Pay. When it talks about Shopee, the users will use Shopee Pay for online shopping, especially they can get free shipping and cashback when using e-wallet payment. As we can see that there are 79.1% of the respondents use e-wallet for online shopping. Money transfer also one of their reasons of using e-wallet, which stands 76.5%. They can transfer money easily through phone numbers or QR codes. Besides, I also want to highlight that 66.7% of the respondents use e-wallet for food and beverages. This can be related to GrabPay, which the users can use it for ordering Grab food easily. Hand over to you, Gracie, to talk about the security of the e-wallets.
Now we will discover how much respondents feel safe with the e-wallet in Malaysia, as e-wallet are claimed to be safer than other mode of payment because of its encrypted security features. So from the data we collected, 49.7% of respondents feel safe with the security of e-wallet in Malaysia. However, most of the respondents prefer not to link their credit or debit cards to e-wallet due to lack of security or some extra charges. So also to mention that the user will not get any passcode after linking their credit or debit card, which means that If others are using it for transactions, the owner might not know as they will not receive any notifications. So on the other hand, as we can see, respondents feel safe with the security of e-wallet, but most of them prefer use online banking instead of linking with credit or debit card. So we know that 67.3% of respondents use online banking to top up their e-wallet the most. So from this, we think that they have reduced the risk of getting scammed or hacked, and they choose the most safety way to top up the e-wallet. So according to the data we collected, the reason why they feel safe with their e-wallet is that most of the respondents will just top up the total amount of money they need. So we found that there are 73.2% of respondents will top up below 100 ringgit each time when using e-wallet, and they won't have too much money in e-wallet due to some e-wallet cannot withdraw the extra money back to their bank accounts. So next, auto top-up features is very unsafe for the majority of respondents due to too much convenient and less security measure. So same with linking of credit and debit card because there were no passcode and uh, notifications for the auto top up as it is fully automated and controlled by the system. So moreover, the security features that the majority of respondents feel safer in using e-wallet are PIN code, two-factor verifications, and biometric security, such as fingerprint and face recognition. So lastly, although 97.4% of respondents did not experience a security process issue, so some still feel skeptical of e-wallet security feature since there are no experience about security breaches. Most respondents feel that it's okay to provide personal data and to have the applications record their transactions. And now I will hand over to Eunice to talk about the privacy part. Thank you.
Thanks, Gracie. Other than security, e-wallets also touch upon privacy as it requires the user's personal information to function properly. They have established policies that abide by Malaysian laws, for example, the Personal Data Protection Act, and all users have access to this policy via the Terms and Conditions page. According to our survey results, an approximate amount of 59.5% of respondents fully or partially understand how their data is being protected by these e-wallet companies. This proves that about 60% of respondents are aware of how their personal data are being used and that most people are more conscious and aware of their privacy rights. However, one of our questions also revealed that only 51.6% of respondents felt safe in providing their IC details to e-wallet companies. Somehow this contradicts the previous statement as the respondents are either not entirely aware of how their personal data is being used or the policies provided by these e-wallet companies are not clear enough. Also, users might have also chosen to relent because some e-wallets require personal data to provide other exclusive features. To further explain, nowadays financial tech companies use eKYC, which stands for Know Your Customer, which is a mandatory practice or process equipped in businesses to verify the identities and suitability of customers as well as the risks involved in maintaining a business relationship with them. This allows both parties, the company and the customers, to have a much more secured partnership between one another, as there will be more transparency from each of them. Also, many respondents revealed that they felt safe with the fact that e-wallet record their transactions and preferences within the applications. 7.8% felt very safe, 32% felt safe, and 37.9% of respondents were neutral with this statement. This shows that the majority of respondents trust these e-wallet companies in terms of personal data protection, and they are comfortable with this application storing their daily digital transactions. It also shows on how they use their customers' personal information in order to obtain more customer confidence in their privacy policies.
Next, let's hear more about the quality of Malaysian e-wallets from Wern Xuan.
Thank you, Eunice. Now let's move on to the quality of Malaysian e-wallets. According to the data that we collected from the respondents, we found out that there are 49.7% of the respondents, which is almost half of them, rate and feel that the quality of Malaysian e-wallets is somewhat great. 29.4% of the respondents feel neutral, and 16.3% of them feel great about it. Only 3.3% of them feel that the quality of Malaysian e-wallet is somewhat terrible, and 1.3% of them feel that it's terrible. So from here we can see that most of the respondents are quite satisfied with the quality of Malaysian e-wallet and do not have much concern about it. Next, as mentioned earlier, there are many e-wallets in Malaysia, such as Touch and Go's, Boost, GrabPay, Shopee Pay, and many others more. Therefore, we also collected data on what and how they think about the variety of e-wallet applications available in Malaysia. So from the data that we collected, 49% of the respondents feel somewhat great about the variety of e-wallet applications available in Malaysia. Since there are a variety of e-wallets available in Malaysia, they can switch and use the e-wallets according to their needs. For example, if they want to top up their Touch and Go card or pay bills, they can use Touch and Go. Or if they are buying things from Shopee, they can straight use Shopee Pay to pay the bill, and they can even get free voucher from it. And if they want to buy food and beverage, they can straight order and pay by using GrabPay. So from here, we can see that the variety of e-wallet actually provides some benefits and flexibility to the people. So besides that, although overall they are quite satisfied with the quality of Malaysian e-wallet, there are still some areas that they think the e-wallet should emphasize on. As we see from the bar chart, 77.1% of the respondents think that the e-wallet should emphasize on security and safety. Since personal data and money is very sensitive and important, they hope that everything can be protected well, and this is also a guarantee to them and make them feel safer when using e-wallets. Next, 64.1% of the respondents think that user-friendly is a second area that the e-wallet should emphasize on. They think that the e-wallet should be user-friendly so it's easier for the people to understand and use it, including the older generations. Lastly, 41.8% of the respondents think that the e-wallet should emphasize on innovative service functions such as maintenance and customer service. They think that the e-wallet should upgrade their system regularly, adding in new features and strengthening their customer service so that they can provide a great user experience to customers. So now I pass it to Sean to talk about the future of e-wallet.
Before talking about the result that we gather for the future of e-wallet, I would like to share with you the reason that we choose China as a country to compare with. First of all, they are the pioneers of e-wallets, with the Alibaba launch Alipay in 2004 and Tencent WeChat Pay launched in 2013. So naturally, they have a more mature technology and more information to improve their e-wallets. Besides that, according to a statistic given by Tashet Consulting, 74% of e-wallet users use e-wallet every day, and there are 1.4 billion capital of e-wallet transaction every day. By using this information, China can be an e-wallet role model for our country. Okay, back to the information that we gathered for areas of improvement for Malaysian e-wallets. Malaysian seems to be focused on the reward and benefit that is given by the e-wallet companies compared with security features and privacy policies. The result that we collected from our survey form is that 70 respondents choose reward and benefit, but there's only 51 of them choose privacy policies. Next, 60.1% of our respondents believe that Malaysia will follow China's footsteps in e-wallet, because most of them believe that e-wallet is a trend to go cashless, and there are more people starting to use e-wallet. So they believe that there are possibilities to follow China's e-wallet's footsteps. Okay. Lastly, we have concluded three main challenges that Malaysian e-wallet face, which is technology advancements, lack of funding, and also less government control. Actually, we can relate technology advancements and lack of funding together because it needs money to increase the technology of e-wallet. There are a lot of differences between the amount that they have invested in e-wallet between Malaysia and China. For example, Touch and Go invested at least 150 million USD on, and on the other hand, Alibaba invested at least 25 billion USD for Alipay. From this amount of money, we can know that which country has more leading technology in e-wallet. Lastly, less government control. The Malaysian government did give a lot of subsidies to encourage people to use e-wallet, but the Chinese government control most of their e-wallet to trace every transaction to avoid tax evasion, money laundering, and other financially motivated crime. The government purpose of using e-wallet is different, so it will determine the size of the e-wallet. That's all for me, and I will pass it to Wern Xuan to talk about the conclusion.
Thank you, Sean. So, in conclusion, as we can see, Malaysian e-wallets have somehow surpassed the citizens' expectations in terms of security and privacy protections, as the majority of respondents were satisfied with their current performances. 97.4% of our respondents did not face any security breach issues in their applications, proving e-wallet companies did in fact focus on strengthening its security features. Furthermore, they aim to be more transparent in terms of how they handle personal information, so more users will be able to trust their services. If these e-wallet companies continue to maintain their performances or strengthen their features in case of any circumstances, it is possible that the financial technology companies in Malaysia will one day be able to reach China's standards. So that's all from us today, and thank you for listening.